I'm here today to support Green Party candidate Ken Krayeske for the 1st Congressional District as a representative in the House of Representatives. Ken Krayeske has a record of challenging concentrated power that abuses workers, consumers, patients, and the ordinary person in Connecticut who's trying to get through the day. He's put his career on the line, he's put his fortitude on the line in many ways that are quite uncharacteristic of people at his young age. His platform is a majoritarian platform, by and large. That is, he wants the kinds of changes that a majority of people in Connecticut want. Majority of the people in Connecticut, as well as the rest of the country, want single payer, otherwise known as full Medicare for everyone, with free choice of doctor and hospital. Ken Krayeske wants a break in terms of college tuition, and he wants to fund that by cutting the bloated, wasteful military budget that even Secretary Gates of Defense is now trying to do something about. Ken Krayeske is skeptical of these autocratic trade agreements that are hollowing out communities in Connecticut and shipping jobs and factories overseas to fascist and communist dictatorships who know how to keep workers in their place, working hard with modern capital equipment and shipping the products back to the United States, including contaminated food, defective tires, contaminated ingredients for our pharmaceuticals, and toxic drywalls that have been pouring in from China. Ken Krayeske also wants to crack down on the financial industry, Wall Street, the foreclosure mess. He wants to give people a consumer protection pattern in terms of credit card gouging. And he also wants to broaden the debate in this campaign to deal with all the impositions and cruelties and abuses that consumers are experiencing in terms of having a reduction in their family income when they go shopping for the necessities of life. One thing Ken Krayeske has stood for that most other politicians don't want to mention is electoral law reform. He wants more access for third parties to give voters more choices on the ballot. He succeeded in getting several debates with the major party candidates for the 1st District, including John Larson. And I don't know any Green Party candidate in the country who's managed to get 4 or 5 debates scheduled where he can demonstrate his capabilities and his experience and his humane value systems as credentials to represent the people in the 1st District in the House of Representatives. I particularly like the part where he sees the growth and employment in this country basically as a productivity and efficiency factor. It's often called green jobs, but green jobs basically are jobs that reduce the choking air pollution, reduce the choking water pollution, that make the country more self-sufficient right down to the community, and that improve the utilization of energy of whatever kind, and he prefers solar energy and energy conservation in running our economy. He also wants to put on the table taboo subjects, and taboo subjects in the 2010 campaign are the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Criminal wars of aggression that have never been declared by Congress as required under the Constitution, that have led to millions of deaths and serious injuries in those 2 countries, and the devastation of those 2 countries, economically as well as environmentally, right down to the village level. Over 1 million Iraqis have died as a result of the invasion of Iraq. And, of course, the cost to our soldiers and their families. And it's not just the fatalities, bad as they are for our soldiers. It's 5 million military families whose lives have been broken apart in constant redeployments in Iraq and Afghanistan, as well as well over $1 trillion that could have been put back into this country, creating jobs and building public works that are in terrible disrepair. Not just roads and bridges, but public buildings, clinics, libraries, public transit. All this is in disrepair while the criminal wars of aggression are blowing up bridges and roads and other public works in those other countries. Finally, it's important to recognize the level of commitment that Ken brings to it. It's not just a good progressive agenda, it's not just green values, but it's also a level of emotional intelligence, fire in the belly, as organizers have called it in American history, that takes what he knows and gives it a powerful engine and a realization that unless power is shifted in our country from the few to the many, unless we have strategies that people like Ken Krayeske can uphold and advance, the concentration of power in this country is heading toward what Franklin Delano Roosevelt called American-style fascism. In 1938, he sent a message to Congress. This President of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, said, whenever government is controlled by private economic power, that's fascism.